Yo, what's going on, guys? Bill here, Classic Rock and Metal Review. Throwing a little cheapy episode at you, but these are always fun, I think. And this one, double dip of vinyl from a bargain bin near me. And it was a little drive, but not too far. And I ended up actually wanting to go back for something that I left there. And a week later, took another trip back to the same place. That item I went back for wasn't there any longer. No big surprise. However, there was a bunch of new things there in this same vinyl bargain bin. So I pillaged it once again. So the first trip, 10 vinyl albums. They were all under $4. There's some metal in there, which was amazing. Some great finds. A couple CDs from the dollar bin. This is the place where I got the $82 CDs last fall. So not $1. Okay, these vinyl albums were only $2 or $4 depending. I left the stickers right on them so you can see. No, I don't own a pricing gun. That would be really friggin' lame to have a channel like this claim to be finding this stuff at these kind of prices and bullshitting you up, you know. So no, this is a real deal. And then when I went back today, actually, 7 more vinyl albums that weren't there the first time, and 1 more CD, mostly classic rock, all this stuff, but like I said, some metal in there, right? So let's just get to it. I'm putting together that new format episode, and man, it's a bitch trying to edit that thing. It's a monster. 70 minutes, you know, so it should have been up today being Sunday. You'll probably see this by Tuesday. Anyway, I'm working on it. I'm trying to get there. And once I get there and get all the kinks worked out, it's going to be awesome. But it's going to be the best show on Tube, I think. I really do. I really mean that. I'm going to be working hard to get it to be killer. But in the meantime, man, let's get into some vinyl action. I've spun about half of these first 10 I'm going to show you, all right, over the last week, okay? Also picked up some new, like, inner liners, you know, which I've been meaning to do for some of the stuff I got laying around. But I'll tell you, I've been pretty much a vinyl-only guy in the house all week because of these, and it's kind of got me steering towards vinyl, man. That musical journey we're all on, man. It just bobs and weaves at all times, you know. Pretty much I was a mostly vinyl guy to start with back in the 80s, you know. I figured it gave you the option to listen at home, the big full cover to look at. I could always throw it onto a blank tape, take it in my Walkman, and what do you know? Everything comes around, goes around. Grassroots Music Store. They're in Ocean City, not too long of a drive from me, and this place is, the pricing's all over the place. The store's great. It's a small store. Music wise, they're probably 95% vinyl, and it's brand new vinyl. There's a little bit of vintage vinyl mixed in with that new stuff, but not a whole lot. And then there's this crate of bargain albums that I always look through. It's just generally just okay kind of stuff. I've bought a few things from there over the years, but you know, Dan Fogelberg and things like that. Nothing like this stuff I'm about to show you. Although 1 or 2 of them might have been there for a month or so. The last time I was there, I remember one of these albums. But anyway, let's just get to it. It's a cool store. They do sell instruments and stuff. So that's where their focus, I think, kind of is. And that's why I think these cheap CDs and even these albums about to show you, it's just not really an important thing to them. They sell a lot of probably brand new vinyl, I would imagine, since that's what the bulk of the store is. All right, so let me just try and straighten out my act here. And also I picked up, like I said, some of these inner liners. I don't know, you guys can tell me since I'm not a wax authority. Hudson Hi-Fi, is that a quality inner liner sheet? And I already put some of these, I bought 10 for $1 each. Some of them in some of these new albums already. And then we got some CDs. So let's just start out with the vinyl. And we'll start out with, these are in chronological order. I got some Uriah Heep. This first batch is 72 to 84. So this was last week's haul. $2 for Sweet Freedom. And I took a listen to this one. Damn good record. And I have to tell you, I think side 2 is better than side 1. Because what happened was I put side 2 on first by accident. Wow, if that was that good, I can't wait to hear side 1. But I really thought side 2 was the better side. I played it first by accident. And I'm trying to remember what song. Really all of them. I think Circus was my favorite off that one. But If I Had the Time was good, and 7 Stars was really good. Dreamer, Stealin', some more popular stuff from them there. And I don't know, let's just take a look inside one of these. It's just a gatefold. Yeah, $2 for this. Let me throw that there. I'm not going to show you everything. I already replaced the inner liner on this one, but yeah, it's a pretty cool gatefold with lyrics and such. I got this I remember this from some Neil Young albums. All right, so I guess I don't got the new liner in on this one yet. But, all right, I'm not going to show you all these. This is going to take forever. Oh, wait, hold on a second. What's going on here with this? Wow, it's like a trifold. That's cool. I didn't even pick that up. Bronze Records. Ah, that's killer. I haven't seen that since I had No Remorse on vinyl. Nice, but look at this thing. Oh, stupid of me, I should put it down. This thing flips, so it's like a sort of, single page book. I don't think I've ever seen that before, That's really cool, man. Yeah, that's right. I'm back into vinyl again, just like overnight. Seriously. Wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't pick that up. All right, anyway, I'm not going to flip open all of these albums right now. Next, 1974, A New Life, the Marshall Tucker Band. Got an original Capricorn here, which is awesome. And this is a really damn good album. I don't know if there's any real hits on it. I guess it's 24 hours at a time. Yeah, I see that on some compilations or live albums, I think. But I've never heard this one before. Same with that Uriah Heep. Most of these albums are new to me. Most of them, not all. But, all right. I'm trying to remember what was... The whole album was really just good. And, a little more jazzy than the stuff I was used to from... Searching for a Rainbow. That's the only album from them I ever owned up until this one. And I think a Greatest Hits or something. I'm not sure if I ever even played the Greatest Hits, to be honest with you. All right, so that was another $2 job. This one is in rough shape. Not horrible, but the roughest of all these albums. But for $2, I'm not saying no to a copy of Rainbow. And yeah, I just got it on CD a few years ago. And I don't think it's great, but you know what? I spun this too, and I think it's a little better than I thought. It's pretty damn good, man. I thought it was easily their weakest of the 3 Dio, and I guess it is, but it's still pretty damn good, all right? And this one, like I said, and it even has a name and the letter up there and some names in the corner. I don't care. For $2, I'm not going to say no to this. And all of those have a little bit of pop and a little bit of, these are all albums that are, I think, in the very good plus to excellent minus range, but nothing near Min or anything. But here was a cool one. That's for $4, and I never heard this band. I don't think I ever heard of this band. Hammersmith, 1975 self-titled debut, Canadian rock band, progressive in spots, hard rock in spots, a little mainstream. I think they have 2 songs that might be on the mainstream rock side of things, but generally hard rock with some touches of progressive in there. And I think, what's the one song? The last song on here, Open Up the Sky, is awesome. But there's a bunch of great songs on here. I really like this record. I don't know if you guys ever heard of these guys. Hammersmith. This is from 75. Damn good one. I'm glad I took a chance on this one. This one got a new liner because the album itself splitting at the top there, so that little cardboard fraying was getting on the record, so new inner sleeve for that one to do a better job protecting that. And then another Uriah Heep, another $2 job, Innocent Victim, 77. I have not heard this one yet. This had a different cover in the rest of the world, I think, other than the US, so really kind of corny little cover, I think, but anyway. Probably would have been cooler to have than just some live shots. But anyway, that'll be cool to check out. I don't think the ratings are as high on this as that earlier album. Big surprise there. Here's a cool Peter Tosh, Bush Doctor. Now this one's in really good shape. Got Rolling Stones records. I didn't even realize he was on Rolling Stones records. I knew Mick sang on You Gotta Walk and Don't Look Back. I saw them do that on Saturday Night Live 20 years ago or whatever on a rerun. But this album's pretty good. I listened to this today. Not awesome, but that song with Mick's okay. I don't love that. Bush Doctor's really good. Pick Myself Up's really cool. I have his live album, Captured Live. And actually, I do have the CDs, but I just got them recently. I've had the DVD, Captured Live, for a long time. So Pick Myself Up's on there. And overall, really good album. But, it's not amazing. It's not as good as most Martley albums, I wouldn't say, so. But really cool $4 pickup there. And Keith does play guitar on one song too. I was totally unaware of that. And that I think is on Bush Doctor, actually, title track. And now into some metal, 1981, Triumph's Allied Forces. Man, this has been on my mind to get this on CD. You know, this is something I used to have on cassette in the mid 80s. Looks damn good. All right. I can't wait to get back to that. I haven't heard it in a long time. I do have a Triumph Live at the US Festival. And I have Thunder 7 and I have one of their compilations. But here we go. Some Police from 81, Ghost in the Machine. I've always loved this album. I've had this since probably 81 or 82. Cassette, you know, and then CD. Then I have the Police box set. And never owned it on vinyl, so now everything but the 8-track, I guess, with this one. And I listened to this yesterday, and this is great. I like that album a lot. There's a couple songs on there I don't love, but they're still okay. You know, the whole middle section of the album, I feel like it starts strong up until Invisible Sun. You got the 2 hits in front of that, and then I love the last 3 songs, Omega Man, Secret Journey, and Darkness. All 3 of them are awesome. One World's kind of cool, reggae thing. But nothing on this album is bad. It's just, actually probably, now that I think about it, probably their best album overall, I think. I think all the other albums have a couple of lame songs, and that one probably doesn't. Now here's some new to me Schenker. I have MSG, I think it's called, and I have like 2 of his albums, but not Assault Attack. $4 for this one. And I listened to this already, and it's great, man. I'll tell you, he's awesome. His early stuff so far, the 3 albums I got are all great. And, I got tickets for him too, by the way. You've heard about his tour, My Years with UFO. I'm going to see that. Not until September, I think. And then last of the first batch, and look at this one for $2. Oh, man. You know what? By the way, when I walked up to that bargain bin, it said metal and hardcore or something as one of those dividers in the front. And there's no dividers in that crate usually at all. So I was kind of like, what, you know? And so I grabbed all the metal that was there pretty much. So this one looks like it's in pretty damn good shape. So Quiet Riot Metal Health from 83. And picked up 3 bargain CDs. Some blues. I'm also starting to get into some blues lately. So I picked up a Lightning Hopkins Cadillac Man. It's according to Larry, co-creator Larry and viewer. Basically mashup of 2 live albums put on the 1 CD. So that's kind of cool. These are $1 CDs. Now I already changed the cases on these. So if you're looking for that pricing gun that I got, all right, they're not here. And then some more blues in From the Cradle, Eric Clapton's 94, sort of Return to Blues Standards album and tour. You guys familiar with that one? I haven't heard that in years. I've never owned it, but I used to have a VH1 rehearsals for the tour. It was about 48 minutes or so. So that was the last time I heard it. I lost that DVD. I don't know what happened to that. It's on YouTube though. So, and then last but not least, a nice $1 CD, Eat 'Em and Smile, Dave's first solo album right after the EP, right? And I've never owned this or heard the whole thing other than just the stuff that's on the radio or was on the radio. All right, not too bad, man. I think the albums were $30 and those discs were $3. That was a $33 haul right there. And there was one that I left behind, a vinyl album that I picked up and put down. And I'm like, $4. It was the Pretenders' second album. And again, in like very good plus or mint minus condition. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's been on my mind all week to go back and see if that was still there. And I meant to go back, you know, a few days after, and next thing you know, 3 straight 12-hour days in a row. I'm destroyed, and that's why, by the way, I'm just drinking water tonight, because I got to get my ass to bed. And then I was up late drinking last night, so that's the story with the beverage of choice tonight. Good old-fashioned agua. Though when I went back for that Pretenders, it was not there. There was no more metal there. But I did find a bunch of more albums, 7 more that weren't there the first time, and delved through a used CD section there that they got. That's nothing spectacular in there. It's your usual stuff you'd find in a used CD. And some of the CDs are new too, now that I think about it. But underneath, they had a bunch of stacks of CDs that weren't priced. I just thought the guy was just storing them there until he got around the price on them. But kind of noticed today they're always there and they don't ever move. This guy, I think's too busy with his guitar sales and things to even bother with them. These things have been sitting there, like I said, forever. So finally I went down to look, and the dude went walking by, and I said, are you just waiting to put these out till you price them? He said, if you see something, just tell me and I'll give you a price. So one CD, and wait till you see what it was, and he gave it to me for $1. I don't know if he knows the difference or what. I mean, it's not that it's like the bargain of the century, but I'll take that for $1. All right, so as far as the albums, these are some cool ones. It's been on my mind to recoup some kind of Steppenwolf. I used to just have 16 greatest hits or some kind of cheap MCA special products bullshit cassette, you know. But it wasn't amazing, but I always liked it. Sookie Sookie was on there, of course, Born to Be Wild, and Don't Step on the Grass, Sam. So I wanted to get something back on CD. It just hasn't happened, but now I ran into Steppenwolf for $4. This is the first album that includes the hit Born to Be Wild is part of that cover. Kind of foily cover. I don't know if you can make that out. It's pretty cool. And this one's in really damn good shape, as you can see. I mean, look at that. Not too shabby, man, for 1969. All right. Anything to look at? Nope, generic paper sleeve. But you know what? I think the cover on this, the label in the center is kind of cool. It's your old ABC Dunhill. So I don't know if this is a 69 copy. This might go to the 70s, I think, right? That kind of label. But still pretty damn cool. That back cover looks original, doesn't it? I don't know if they just didn't change that through the 70s or what. So Steppenwolf in my collection again. First time in 30-some years. Now here we go. I think I have something else from him, but I haven't heard it yet. Jeff Beck's Beckola from 69. All right, $2 for this one. Yeah, this one's pretty rough. But again, hey, why the hell not? It's $2, you know? And it was really at one hell of a price at one time for $8. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So this is not something that's going to get framed and be put on your wall, but I just couldn't say no to it. You know, it's not an album I have, and this one has an orange label. I think the original presses were yellow labels, but just look how cool this older label is on that. You know, pretty sweet, man. Just your basic Epic insignia there. So that's your second album from 69. This next one's really cool because I was hunting down a CD version of this a while back and just kind of lost my way. I was trying to find the best version of this because there's multiples. I wasn't aware there was a vinyl version of this. Hall & Oates, Past Times Behind, okay? So we're talking about 71 and 72 demos that never made it on any album. This came out in 76, all right? But the in $2, or again, you know, this one's in really good shape too, as you can see. So what do we got here? 11 songs, right? And I don't know, did some of these make the album? They Needed Each Other, I think did. And I'm trying to look at what else is here. But a lot of songs that didn't make any albums at all. Now the reason I was poking around for a while trying to figure out which of these to get, because there's a CD out there with like 20 songs. Everything that's on here and more. So I just kind of got lost sifting through the different versions and forgot all about it, I guess. But I'll take this for $2. 11 of those. Basically demos, you know, studio demos. But all right, on to 76 for this one now. And this has a nice like raised cover on it. Atlanta Rhythm Section's debut album as far as I know. A rock and roll alternative. I used to have a Best of ARS CD. It had like 15 or 20 songs. It was almost like too much, you know, honestly, because most of it's okay with a handful of good songs. It's just they're not great enough to own 20 songs from, I don't think. But and I listened to that CD 4 or 5 times before I eventually sold it. But you know what? Maybe I'll feel a little different about just a regular album. Sometimes that happens. Those best ofs don't do it for you the way a regular studio album does, as I've reported multiple times on this channel over the years. But you do have Georgia Rhythm. I think I remember that one. So Into You, their biggest hit. And that's really the only. Neon Nights might have been on that best of. I don't know, but for $2, and this is another one in excellent shape. I think you guys can make that out. All right, that one's probably a mint minus for sure. Another $2 job from 77. Supertramp, Even in the Quietest Moments. Another one in pretty damn good shape. I'll conservatively say a very good, very good or a very good plus. But man, what a turnaround album for them, I think, at this point, okay? Quietest Moments, give a little bit. What else is on here? From Now On's really cool. Fool's Overture. So this is really a turning point for these guys, I believe. And they also had their first album there, Supertramp from '72. That was a little rough, along the lines of that Jeff Beck as far as condition. But I have that on CD. I've had that on CD for a long time. So I kind of let that one go. I try to just buy albums I don't have already on CD for the most part, unless it's just irresistible. Now here's another one in pretty good shape, Styx. Is this the Pieces of 8 album, I think? $2 for this guy. All I had to do was see Renegade on it, and that was pretty much bought. But you also have Blue Collar Man. So this is probably, those two songs are probably my two favorite Styx songs. So, all right, give this one a spin. I think I used to have this, actually. It was given to me, forever ago. And it was in rougher shape, but I don't know. I just gave it away. I don't even know why. And then finally, from 1980, as far as the vinyl, and I got one more CD to show you, is Rossington Collins Band, 1980 album. What's it called? Anytime, Any Place, Anywhere. I've never owned anything by these guys. Another one in pretty decent shape. And this will be a fun listen. And I didn't realize how many guys from Skynyrd were in this band, Like all of them, basically. Everyone who survived, I think. I looked inside the label here and it's got the lineup, but anyway, that should be cool. And then, like I said, delving into that mostly metal pile that was underneath where the used CDs were on a shelf, but unmarked, was there was some Slayer and stuff, like a lot of stuff I already had, unfortunately. And a couple of things I would have took, but they had gotten water damaged, and no thanks. But this was sitting there. Exodus, Bonded by Blood. So like he said, just let me know and I'll give you a price. So he took one look at it and just said $1. So, all right, man. Hell yeah. This one still has the banged up cover. And, it's actually not in too bad of shape, but one of the hinges is busted. So, anyway, the disc is in okay shape, not great. This was a metal collection. It looks like somebody dropped off. And they're not in the best condition and stuff like that. But I'm sure it looks playable. All right. There's a bunch of little tiny scratch. I've seen a lot worse, but anyway, I know it's not that original cover, man. I was really kind of holding out to get that original cover, but that's going to be an import version of this that's going to run, last I checked, in the $25, $30 range. So, this dollar version of the same exact music will just have to do. Guys, I think that was a pretty sweet, what are we talking? Today's haul was $19, I think. So 33, whatever, under $55, $60 for all this stuff. That was great, and no, I don't own a pricing gun. But man, I thought you'd like to see that in the meantime while I edit the shit out of this upcoming video. It's going to be killer, and it's going to get better as time goes on, because this one's going to be basically delayed, like from when I filmed it to when you see it. I don't know, a couple weeks probably. And then the next one I'll try to be more on top on. It's going to take a couple additions to get it up to speed. But all right, guys, that'll do it for now. Everyone, drink your water and get to bed. Tomorrow's another day of work. Bummer, but we got to do it. All right, guys, catch us all later. Peace.